Each attachment style has its own way of communicating, and the gold standard is going to be the secure attachment. Now, the secure attachment understands how to communicate effectively and healthily in all relationships compared to the insecure attachment. And so this is a part 3 of the series of communication, and I'm going to start to delve deeper in each attachment style and the communication, but also some things that help resolve some of those insecure and be more secure in relationships. But let's do the intro first, and I'll see you in a bit. Welcome YouTube fam, and I'm excited to talk about this because it brings two worlds together that are really important to me. Communication, which is vital in any relationship, and then attachment styles, which is vital for you to show up properly in relationships, and combining those together. Seeing how attachment styles show up in communication, and we're going to start off with a gold standard secure attachment to show what's the best way to have healthy and effective communication. But first, let me tell you about my channel. We do relationships, we do single dad, parenting information, we do personal growth and attachment theory. Again, this could be like a line from attachment theory to relationships, but it can be really effective all these things at one time. So let's jump into just break down a quick on attachment theory and styles before we go into depth about the communication with secure. So easy breakdown on attachment theory. More in-depth video here that I've done earlier, so check that out. But attachment theory, just you have a caregiver and you have a child. And depending on that relationship between that caregiver and the child sees modeling from that caregiver on how to handle relationships, how to show up in relationships. So when that child gets older, what happens is they start to look for what's familiar, and they look for relationships that they're used to, and also replicate the modeling that was shown to them by that caregiver. And so there's 4 major attachment styles. You have 1 secure attachment style and 3 insecure attachment styles. That'll be anxious preoccupied, dismissive avoidant, and also fearful avoidant. Now there's different terms you can use. You can look that up again in another video I talked about. But what happens with the secure attachment, they usually have a positive view of themselves, and they have a positive view of the people. Because they were modeled healthy relationships and how to communicate, they know what's familiar, that's normal, and so they'll only be around people, and they know they can trust people that have the characteristics that they were modeled before. Compared to anxious preoccupied, they have a negative view of themselves, but a positive view of the people. So what happens in those situations, they actually don't trust themselves, so they try to look for other people. And that usually happens because of inconsistent parenting, sometimes helicopter parenting. And you have dismissive avoidant, which they have a positive view of themselves and a negative view of the people. That's usually done by neglect. By childhood, they had nobody watching them, so they had to rely on themselves, and they don't really trust other people because they weren't really there. And then you have fearful avoidant. Usually what happens in the situation, they have a negative view of themselves and a negative view of the people, because usually some type of abuse was in that situation. Now, you can kind of see how that can affect communication. And so we're going to go into depth on that in individual attachment styles in this series. They are four ways that secure attachment provides a healthy communication style. Now, insecure attachment styles, they're not bad. They just wasn't modeled healthy ways of communicating. They're just replicating what they saw when they grew up. Now, if you're with a secure attachment and you're insecure, that secure person can model that healthy outcomes or healthy ways of communicating to produce outcomes that you're looking for. All right, so let's jump into it. Number 1, they are open and honest about how they feel. All right, by doing that, they provide a safe and entrusting environment. And that safe and trusting environment leaves room for the other person to reciprocate. If I open up about how my feelings are, now it's like, okay, if you did it, I guess I'm okay with doing it. And so that promotes ability for people to feel and leave space for people to feel like they can open up. They're comfortable with intimacy and their needs and desires, concerns. They believe they can come to a solution. And they believe that because they have trusted and seen positive results of their effective communication. So when problems arise, they don't freak out because they believe they can have a solution that comes from it. Now, the insecure attachment have a hard time opening up about their needs and desires, which causes them a lot of problems on the back end. Number 3, their ability to self-regulate their emotions. So secure attachments can understand what the other person is going through, and they can empathize, okay, this is what you're going through, and I'm hearing what's going on, but I also have my issues too, and they have ability to understand how to weave through those situations without crossing each other's boundaries, which is really important, all right? If you start to cross your boundaries, then the resentment can come in on the back end. And number four, they provide a safe and secure environment. They're not gonna just hightail it when the first problem comes around. They're not gonna hightail it when somebody does something bad to them. They have so much trust in their ability to, they'll sit there and work out, hash out situation without, and think about that environment. If it's, most insecure attachments have a fear of abandonment. So we're born with three major fears: a fear of falling, a fear of loud noises, and a fear of abandonment. It's something you're born with, right? And so if you haven't really learned how to deal with that fear of abandonment, it can show up in situations where you don't feel stability. So if you're insecure with somebody secure, secure people will actually provide a stable environment to give you an opportunity to understand, like, okay, the person's not gonna run, they have a fight, and go forward from there. So those are the four major ways that secure attachment actually produces healthy and effective communication. So let's go into the final thoughts. Let's do it. So, final thoughts, guys. So the final thoughts are, you have to understand that communication is key. And the reason why it's so key, I'm actually doing a series on this. This is number 4. I have at least 5 more content I'm going to talk about communication. But understanding what the way to actually have a healthy communication and a goal standard, what to strive to, you can start to slowly try to find people who are secure and understand what the roadmap will be for you to get there. And so I'm going to do each attachment style on what their communication style is based on their childhood when it came up, but also what some things that they can do to move towards more a secure attachment style. So guys, again, communication. I've been saying in like the trifecta of communications in every video because it's so important. But hopefully this is beneficial for you to help you understand attachment styles and how to combine those also. Please like and subscribe. I really would appreciate any type of love or appreciation that I'm doing something right, and comments. If you feel like it's not working or something that's off or something I can improve, please, I urge you to please write something, because I need to understand how to get better and I can be able to serve the community and serve people the best way I can. So until next time, I think the next one's going to be anxious and then dismissive avoidant. But until then, see you in a bit.